I just painted my Series 1 Final Girl miniatures.
Final Girl.
I purchased one of those basically starter kits for adventure gamers, and it's this one right here. It is the Army Painter role-playing paint set, and it comes with 15 war paints, and they're small-sized bottles like this, and yeah, you get 15 of them, all different colors. There's not like a vast amount of colors as you see here. Like you get these basic colors, right? And so if you wanted something like purple, well, you're kind of out of luck. You can try to mix red and blue, but it didn't seem to work very well for me. So if you try to change colors by mixing different colors, your results, your mileage may vary. Let's just put it that way. So I ended up blending like blacks with blue and whites with blue to get like different shades of blue, and that seems to work okay. Well, it works better with the white than it does with the black, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But on the whole, like mixing these paints is not really the ideal way of doing things if you want to get like a true solid color. You'll get more like splotchy color with black with whatever color, but with whites you'll get more of a solid color. So yeah, take that as you may. And it comes with like silver and gold, and those are cool. And it comes with this so-called fresh blood color, and that didn't seem to work out very well for me. So yeah, take that as you may also. So yeah, it comes with a brush, a single paintbrush, and yeah, with that single paintbrush, you can paint your miniatures with this single paintbrush. So long as you've got like a little pot of water, you can like dip this into the pot of water to kind of clear up the paint and then start using other colors. So what I did was I took basically this little plastic box right here, and I dabbed some of the colors that I wanted to use in my painting, and then I just simply dabbed some color there and then painted directly onto the figure itself. So the figures all come in flat gray, and when you get them you're like, okay, so I can use the figures just like this, unpainted mode, but it'd be better if you painted them. Things will be like a lot more realistic, you can say, playing Final Girl if you do paint the miniatures. But again, it is not necessary, it's optional. So if you like unpainted miniatures, if that's your thing, you can go that route. But painting them adds like a little bit of like mood to the entire thing. So yeah, I decided to paint all of my miniatures, and the thing that I did in particular with my figures is take a look at the bases of all of these figures. So for example, the Poltergeist feature film has these 4 figures, and they all have a base of like bright blue. And here we have the Inkayamba, the screaming tribesman, and you'll see the base there is like a brownish color. And here we have Geppetto and his minions, and the Carnival of Carnage, I think it's called, and I've got a deep shade of red for this one. And then we have here the Dr. Frights, the Frightmare on Maple Lane, and here I have like a dark blue kind of color. And then we have the last one, last but not least, the Camp Happy Trails Horror, and that one is dark green for the camp. So yeah, the campgrounds with the grass, camp, green. So I decided to color things just like that so that I could more easily relate which Final Girls go with which killer. And yeah, pretty darn cool. And here we have Melanie from Terror from Above with the birds, and I decided to just color the base black right here. And you will notice that I did not necessarily follow the color schemes on all of the feature film boxes. I said to myself, you know, I could color them the way I want to color them. So I decided that I looked at each figure and I said, I want to color my figures this way. I don't care what the box has. In fact, I didn't even look at Melanie when I was painting Melanie. I said to myself, looking at the gray figure, I could picture like a girl in kind of like the girl in the Matrix, and she's got the black trench coat, and there's a fanny pack on there, and white socks and black shoes. And I said, yeah, let's make her look kind of like a Matrix style girl in a big long black trench coat, sort of like a mysterious detective type. Yeah, pretty cool. So then when I finally looked up what Melanie actually looks like on the feature film box, and it turns out, in the feature film card that is, the character card, it turns out she's like some Hollywood starlet blonde. And so that was like the total opposite of what I was going for Melanie. And that's okay, you know, you can paint these however you want. And one of the criticisms I had when painting my figures was, oh, you didn't follow the line, you didn't follow within the lines. And it's like, yeah, but I'm painting these the way I want to paint them. So whether I follow the lines or not, it's like really up to me. It's up to you, right? You're the artist, you're going to paint them the way you want to paint them. And that's what's cool about this. But there are some things like that bugged me after a while. I was like, okay, there is a neckline on Adelaide. And so I went back and just painted in her neckline. So first pass of this, I had an orange t-shirt and no neckline. It was just like a straight t-shirt like that. And then I decided to have the neckline right there. And you'll see up close what I'm talking about. You'll see the neckline right there. And that's pretty cool. And I did so with another figure, and I fixed Melanie as well. So yeah, so all these little like details of each of these figures, like this is not the finished product for me anyway. This is like my first pass at everything, right? So this is my very first miniature set that I ever painted, right? So I think that's a pretty cool job, all things considered. That's my first paint job ever. So I don't consider this to be a finished work. I'm going to continue working on this and try to make each figure like more realistic. So some people might think that I have like a heavy hand in my painting, so I don't use thin enough coats. And you know what? That's okay. This is my first painting effort. And over time, I'll get better, I hope. And yeah, so I have noticed that when I use thinner paint strokes, then yes, the paint does look better on the figure. When I use thicker paint strokes, it just looks like it's kind of blobbed on. So yeah, and the blob on effect actually works well in certain cases, like Adelaide's baseball bat. It looks a little streaky and it looks like it could be made of wood, and that's pretty cool. And other things might not look so good, but I think what I did with Inkayamba was pretty cool, right? I picked colors that might be fit like a screaming tribesman. So I like the green, the browns, the blacks, and the reds. And yeah, he has to have blood on his sickles right there. Pretty cool, yes. And I decided to put some blood splattering on Hans, the butcher. Very, very cool. And yeah, I decorated Geppetto a bit differently than how it's pictured in the box. But yeah, he still looks like the ringmaster of some circus, some crazy circus. And Poltergeist, instead of dark tones, I decided, hey, let's make her like have light tones. Like she's some sort of like weird plasma kind of figure, right? So yeah, so, and you'll see there's like all different shades of blue here that I created, mixed in with some gold as well. So yeah, you'll see on the back here, there's a lot of detail that's a lot of detail like on the backs of these figures too, that we don't get to see, right? So or at least I didn't show you yet. So yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff in the back of the figures too. So yeah, I could place all of these on some sort of like a little rotating pedestal, and then you can see everything in 3D panoramic view, 360-degree view, but I think that'd be boring, right? So that's why I'm just showing you the figures themselves, just to show you that, hey, I did them all, and this is like my first pass at all of this. And yeah, I think progressing beyond this is likely, right? So I think I'll get better and better over time as I paint more and more figures. But I think, yeah, some of the things I did were pretty cool, like the textured effect on this horror marker. And you probably can't see it, but there's actually texture on the skull, and that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think this will definitely add like a lot of depth in the game with the different colors. And yeah, I think I did a pretty good job as a first pass, all things considered. Yeah, very, very cool. Very, very cool. And here's Laurie from the Hans game. Yeah, you can see all the details, all the paint. So you see this dark blue shade that's on her jeans right here. It's a little splotchy in the front too. Like in my mind, I was like, you know, okay, I want darker blue jeans. So I mixed black with blue, and it ended up having a little bit of like splotchiness on the pants themselves. You can see up close. But that's pretty cool, because in no horror movie have I ever seen someone looking kind of pristine running away from a mass murdering killer, right? So usually when you're running away from something, from imminent danger, you're going to be like traipsing through all sorts of mud and muck and all sorts of crazy things. So that's going to get on your clothes. So this actually, the way that this was painted is actually true to how a lot of horror movies are. So having like perfectly painted figures is not necessarily a good thing. Sometimes you want that little bit of like weathering effect or the kind of like realistic effects that you can create with just happy accidents. And I think that's pretty cool about my paint job here. So yeah. So everybody, if you like this video, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel. You'll see more videos just like this one. And until next time, everybody, see you. Bye.